Hey guys, welcome back. It's Dave. I just wanted to make a quick video to first of all announce that the most updated grid that I've done my last couple of videos on that include the Brisnet pace figures averaged in with the incremental times is now on your official download page. So those of you that own the thorough capping tutorial, I'll pull mine up. I have it titled this particular sheet is with Bris pace. Okay, and I put about 30 copies on there for you, and you may want to on your own add more cells to the bottom and maybe make some more or make some extra pages of it, copy it and open up some new pages over here, and just that way you have plenty to work with. This has been a pretty successful combination using the incremental times along with the Bris pace for the E1 and E2, and then average them together for my segments. And I've also added the turn rating in there as well. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to do a quick, I'm not going to do a long video here, but I'm going to do a quick refresher on what we're doing here. These are single pace line grids. So even though each runner has two rows, one is for the incremental time rating, and the other is for the Bris pace figure. So I'll show you what we're doing here. Let me go to a split screen here real quick, and hopefully you guys can see it well. I apologize if you cannot see the PP generator pages over here clearly, because these are you can only make them so large. They don't have a zoom function where I can zoom in a lot. So hopefully you can see this, or maybe you can zoom on your end. But here's what we're doing here. If we're looking at a sprint race, and for the first call, let me just pull a sprint race out of here. We'll use this 5-horse. We're just doing our normal incremental times. First of all, I have the PP generator set for options. The fractions are for this particular horse, not the leader at that call. And I also have incremental times off. All right. And if this were a sprint race, we have the first call, which is a 22-1, which if you have the tutorial, you'll know that a 22-1 would be a 99. And do I have these centered? Actually, I don't want to use the sheet I put in here. Let me use my own personal grid. There we go. 99. And then what I do was I take that first call pace figure of a 93 and I put that in there. So if you notice, the segment 1 is an average of those two together, where before we were just using the incremental times. So now we're actually adding in the Bris pace figures as well. Now for the second call, what I do is find the second call of the race, which is the half in a sprint, and a 45. I used a 44 as my standard 100 in a sprint, so that's 1 second off. That would be a 95. And then his second call figure was a 94. Now for this, you have a couple options. You can save this till the end and then go turn your options and go to incremental times on, and then we just find that second call time, which would be a 22-3, and we would put that as there. That would be a 97. There is no Bris figure for that, so we leave this bottom blank. Or the other option would be to, instead of having to toggle back and forth, if your mental math is sharp enough, you could just do that yourself and go, okay, a 22-1 to a 45 is a 22-4 actually. You get one less doing it that way. But it's probably taken into account maybe the heads here, out by a head, in the lead by a head. Okay, but either way, you're going to get close to at least 1 point off. But if you want to do the mental math, I just do the mental math calculation there. And then what we do is we move over here now to the final fraction late pace. Well, the final fraction here, we're going to go 45 to a 111. Okay, this is a 6 furlong race today. We'll go 45 to 111. That's 15 to a minute, plus another 11, which should be 26. A 26 off of 22 is an 80. And then the late pace figure here was a 69. And then when it's all said and done, you would have the whole grid filled out for that particular runner. You'll get your segment 3, which is your overall rating of a 90.25. And then you also have your incremental factors here to look at. If now, something I've been doing is I've been paying attention to how the track has been running. Okay, if the track has been running late, late speed or late pace has been dominating for that particular day. When I do my analyzing, I will once I do my colors, and I know who my top is in each category, I will pay more attention to this side, who has the best late ratings, and if there's a few that are very close to each other, do they show anything over here, especially on the turn? So if I see a horse that has the top turn rating, let's say this 96 was the top turn rating once I did this entire race, and I shade that in blue, and then let's say the 74.5, which is pretty slow for a late fraction, but that's because this horse did all his running early. But let's say, for example, that was the top, and I had him shaded. That horse would definitely be a contender, especially on a day when the bias is leaning toward late runners. Okay, so I would look for blue, or second place, I use lighter shade of yellow and so forth. Let's take a look at a route race. The route race, let's pretend this is a totally different race. I'm going to use the same exact grid and just show you where I get my numbers from in the route race. We'll go to this race here. Yeah, that was decent. Just keep in mind that in a route race, first call is always the half mile, and we use the 46 as a standard for 100. So 47 would be a 95. And then his first call rating was also a 95 as the Bris pace figure. Now, second call in a route is the 3/4 mile. So we have a 113 and 2. I use a 110. I've been using a 110 for route races and a 108 for a final fraction for a sprint race. But we use the 110. This is 3 2/5 seconds. So that would be 15, 16, 17 from 100. That would be an 83 incremental rating and an 89 Bris rating. Now we'll do the turn. All we do is take those two figures and we do the mental. That'd be 13 to a minute plus another 13 is 26 and 2. Off of a 22 is a 78. Leave the bottom blank. And let's look over the final fraction now. That's a 113 and 2 to 139 and 2. That's 26 from 100 is a 74. Oh, wait, I'm sorry. Let me start over again. That's 26. Off of a 22, that would be 4 seconds. That would be an 80. Late rating. And because of the way the race was run, the Bris figure gives it a 96. So that's why it's nice to average them out, because this 80 might not necessarily be the top late speed once we do them. But when you average in the Bris late pace figures there, it averages out to an 88. All right, so I mean, it's been a nice little union, to say the least, as far as being able to use the incremental times as well as the Bris late pace. What I don't want to do is I don't want to get away from using incremental times at all and just rely on the pace figures, because it's what everybody sees. Everybody's looking at the pace figures. A lot of people are not actually, looking at incremental times, especially of the particular horse that in question. They might be looking at the times of the race, the leaders that were on the lead on each call, but we're actually looking at the internal fractions or the incremental fractions for this particular runner. All right, so again, I'm making this video longer than I wanted to, but I just want to let you know again, if you own our deluxe tutorial, you go into the download page and you now have access to this particular grid. And I would you would have to again download the grid page again, because it's not going to be on there. You're going to have to open it up again, make your own copy of it, go up file, make a copy, and then you'll be able to do your thing. If you're working in Google Sheets like I do, just go make a copy. Click make a copy. If you're working in Excel, you want to go to download Microsoft Excel, and then it'll put you it'll give you a version in Excel. Okay, if you're not an owner of the tutorial and you're interested in the download, the link is below in the description. You can click on it, and it'll give you the step-by-step video tutorial on how to do each of these segments. And the only thing that's really added today was anything new that's not on that tutorial is the Bris figures, and I covered that today, and the turn rating. Okay, but learning to convert times to ratings using standard 22 for as 100 for a quarter, 46 and 44 sprint and route for the half is all discussed and all shown in that in the particular tutorial. So all right, thanks for tuning in. Hopefully this was helpful, and hopefully you guys take advantage of these grids. I put a lot of grids in our Discord. If you're not a member of the Discord, there's also a Discord link. You can join the Discord. It's in the description. And I'd say probably about 85% of the races I play, I put my grids ahead of time in the Discord for you guys to look at, follow along, tail if you want, if I'm having a good day, and so forth. All right, talk to you soon.